Alright. I hope everything is good. Alright. Hello. It's Weibo here. It's got my
Good luck.
my face here. It's a new thing for this channel, but it's definitely gonna be doing some more stuff that's sort of in-person-ish in the future, so guys might as well just show my face while I live stream. Anyway, this is the reveal of the new Persona 5 tennis game. I hope you guys are enjoying this gameplay. But for real, I think you can see in the bottom left, I've got my latest video queued up.
Hey.
And we're just gonna be talking about it. As well as some other behind the scenes stuff, if I get to that, like editing stuff. I find that kind of interesting. I don't know if anyone else will.
Oh.
Alright. Sorry, I'm just looking at my other monitor. Dang it. Okay. Oh yeah, before I say anything else,
Yes.
I'm kind of blown away by how
Oh.
that video down there did.
Man.
Cause I'm at a loss for words, because I have no idea how I disappeared for 2 years off of YouTube, upload a, I think, fairly average
Nice.
video, and then instantly get 1,000 views overnight.
Hey.
Well, I should say, like, you know, I am thankful for all the viewers. If anyone has bothered to click on this stream, welcome. Thank you for bothering with your time to watch my content. That's very nice. I guess no more stalling. We should probably just get into the video. Hope this doesn't lag like it does before. It's gonna be hard to try and keep track of doing this and playing baseball at the same time. Damn it.
Man. Okay.
Okay. Come on, Joker.
Hey.
I think I'll start the video when I get to 20 hits.
Oh.
I can do this.
Yes.
Damn, that's crazy.
Nice.
Alright. 19. And 20. Okay, let's get this video started.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it is lagging. My stream.
Man.
There we go. I'm gonna stop that real quick.
Man.
Okay, it doesn't look like that's gonna be working. So,
Nice.
I'm going to... Nope, that's the wrong thing. I'm going to disappear it. There we go. It has been disappeared.
Man.
Now, only baseball is left. But I do want to talk about it on the video.
Hey.
As I said before, I think it was average. So I am, of course, always trying to better myself when I make my videos. I've saw a couple comments.
Okay.
Love them so far. They're great. Either very funny or very constructive.
Hey. Oh.
I guess if there is a single oldie
Nice.
Weibo fan who is at all going to watch this, I should probably explain like where the hell have I been for 2 years.
Okay.
It's a combination. I mean, just life generally. I have a job that takes up time.
Nice.
And also, probably the biggest issue, because I could probably like make videos like these. It didn't take me that long to actually make the video. It's just that actually getting to a point where I'm in the mindset to make videos is extremely difficult, or has been extremely difficult for the past 2 years. Personally, I think I'm back into the swing of things now. They shouldn't be like terrible lengths of time between videos. My next video, the script is already done.
Okay.
I'm about to do the voiceover after the stream. I've got some stuff to record, which I'll do after the stream as well. And that video should probably be done by like mid-October, is my guess.
Oh.
But you never know. I mean,
Hey, hey.
okay, I should probably get back on track. Actually, what's this? Live chat. Why did not my settings not have live chat selected?
Man.
Sorry if anybody's been chatting and I just did not see it. Probably
Okay.
nobody.
Hey,
Let's
hey.
see, what was I gonna say? Oh yes, I've been disappeared for 2 years.
Hey, hey.
Yes, the main issue I've been having is
Yes.
always trying to up myself in terms of quality, and then getting super paranoid about videos quality, abandoning the project, making a new project, setting super high expectations, failing to meet those expectations, and continuing to make another project. Just repeat that for 2 years, and that's basically where I've been. So I have been working on stuff. It's just that 90% of it got cut.
Okay.
But then when I finally decided to work on this summoning methods video, which by the way, I've had in like, so I have a notepad that's just full of different video ideas. I've had that in there for a long time. Like, I think that was one of the very first ones I wrote down as a video idea to do back when I was like regularly uploading. That was back when I was doing it once a week. I have no idea how I pumped those videos out. I mean, they weren't very great videos, but I pumped them out like once a week. I was crazy. And it's kind of funny thinking about like how I took, you know, 1 month to make that Persona 4 Golden video. And at the time that was crazy for me. Because I was uploading weekly before that. I'm really bad at baseball if you haven't noticed. I'm also trying to talk at the same time.
Hey, hey.
So yeah, I think that about explains where I've been. I should probably talk about plans for the future. As I've already mentioned, I have a video pretty much in the works right now. Like,
Nice.
script is done, just have to do the voiceover. I'm gonna look into ways to make my voice sound a little bit better for commentary wise, because I mean, even in the last video, I think it was a bit too, how do I say this,
Hey,
echoey in a weird way, where I feel like my voice didn't blend into the rest of the audio that well. Like, I watched some other YouTubers who managed to just like make it sound really natural, and I want to emulate that kind of feel with my audio. I'll admit that that's always been my weak point, is audio in terms of editing, so I should probably learn some more about it before this next video. I've recently what's it called? Oh wait.
Hey, hey.
Yes, I am done with that script. Although I think easily during the production process, it's editing that takes the most amount of time to do. Because like I can pump out a script in like a day. That's not a problem. I can do literally, if I really wanted to, I could pump out a script in a day and then do the voiceover the same day, given that I had a quiet environment.
Hey, hey.
And then once that's done, however, editing takes a bit of time. I mean, I have to gather footage, which admittedly doesn't usually take that long because most of these are like video game related. So I just do that. Usually takes a couple hours to get the footage I need. And then I spend, I mean, if I were to just edit nonstop, it would take me like a day or two, probably, to finish these videos. Especially the ones that are more structured.
Yes.
So it would probably take me about that time, but more realistically, it takes about a week to edit.
Nice.
And you know what's funny? So as I was getting back into the swing of things, I've been working on the summoning methods video technically since,
Nice.
what was it? July. So 2 months. Obviously not the kind of production, you know, that is very sustainable in the future. It's probably going to be a lot faster now that I'm actually sort of in the groove. Usually, I mean,
Okay.
just to like set a reasonable expectation, I'm probably going to be uploading about once a month. And they're just going to be about a whole range of different things. Like, for example, in the works, what's funny is this this unfinished script is about a little over a year old since I've last touched it. It was, yeah, August of 22 was the last time I edited that doc. It is the Persona 2 Eternal Punishment one. That's going to be a little bit more complicated to do, because that's going to be the long form videos, exactly like the Innocent Sin and Persona 4 Golden videos, where I kind of go through a review at the beginning and then kind of do a story summarization, which will take up the majority of the video. But for a while, I considered just completely redoing it and just do all review and no story summarization. But then I realized, like, even watching back on the Persona 4 Golden video, I actually enjoyed that.
Hey.
Like, I watched it back. I mean, some of it didn't age well, but like, I enjoyed a lot of the story summarization, and especially the comedic bits I added. So I'm going to probably have a heavier focus on comedy while still accurately portraying the story in these videos.
Okay.
Another old series I had, and I'm considering bringing back, was This Is Basically, I don't know if that's an original name or not, but that's what I always just called it, so that's what I'm gonna still call it, unless I get a better idea.
Okay.
For those of you who never saw those videos, because they're down now, they're basically these like crudely animated
Nice.
videos that were kind of like a parody of the Persona, like each of the Persona games. Or, I mean, it could branch out to more than Persona, but I think, you know, I'm mainly a Persona channel, so I'm gonna be sticking to. Yeah. And I'm considering bringing that back. I took the Persona 3 one down because I just thought that one was in bad taste. A lot of the jokes in there was
Okay.
So you know how in the latest video I like mocked the sort of like
Hey.
the 2000s edginess kind of thing? Yeah, that was my This Is Basically Persona 3 video. It was a bit too edgy for my taste. And then the This Is Basically Persona 4 one, it was A, unfunny, and B, was just badly edited. So I just decided to take that one down. I might redo those entirely from scratch, because I don't think those scripts are salvageable. I'm gonna be honest. I wrote those years ago.
Yes.
And honestly, if I were to do that, I would have to think, I would want to challenge myself to actually like come up with like original jokes on the stories. I wouldn't want to regurgitate the same like haha, this is basically Persona 4, a dodgy cabbage, ha 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 ha, this is so funny. You know? Just want to point out some like other absurd things in the story, which would probably, in order to do those videos, I'd probably have to do a whole like playthrough of those games again, and then just kind of have like a notepad with me, like writing down, okay, what's goofy? Or, oh, first home run, nice.
Nice.
Ow.
Man. Yes.
But yeah, we are chilling.
Oh.
see, what else am I gonna... Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I guess I'll reveal this much about the next video. It is not a Persona-related
Okay.
video. Crazy, I know. Although pretty much immediately after, I plan to return to Persona videos again. I will do, I plan on occasionally doing like one-off videos that aren't related to Persona at all, but it'll be kind of the same like style, format, kind of stuff you're all used to.
Nice.
Maybe with some like slight changes, because I know I'm gonna be doing some more cinematic stuff and aspects of this next video that I already have planned out.
Okay.
So, yeah. But yeah, for the Persona 2 Eternal Punishment video, that's gonna be one I'm probably gonna be working on for a while doing like, it's gonna, I guess, kind of in the back burner while I make other videos for the monthly quota, sort of thing. I don't like to think of it as a quota, but I couldn't find a better word.
Nice.
So yeah, I'll just kind of work on that one. I'll probably post updates on like my Twitter or whatever. Oh yeah, by the way, I should probably link that in my newest video so people can actually keep up. But yeah, I have a Twitter.
Oh.
I shit posts, politics,
Okay.
10% actual updates. We love it here. I think that's like my pinned tweet or whatever.
Oh.
But yeah, occasionally there will be like updates on videos and stuff there.
Nice.
I probably should have tweeted that I'm live streaming, but like no one follows me on Twitter, so I think I'll be fine just doing this dry quote unquote. Let me think. I mean, yeah, I should probably talk about this. I think it should be pretty obvious, considering the massive voice disparity between the Persona 4 Golden video and this news video. I am trans.
Nice.
That's as much as I'm gonna say.
Okay. Yes.
Alright, let's see. Let's get this. Ah, damn.
Oh. Okay.
You know, maybe I can try bringing back the, Uh-oh, it's starting. It's
And
starting.
Before I say another word, this is not the video that's been preoccupying me.
It is not. Oh yeah, I should probably... Okay. It looks like the video is working now, so I'm gonna be going, more in-depth, I guess, is the word, about,
Yes.
what that means. Actually, okay.
Oh.
I've already explained it, but I'll explain it again.
Nice.
So that part is essentially, it's just referring to the fact that, I've just been cycling through tons of different projects and never really settling until I finally got to the video and decided, you know what, I'm just going to release it when I'm done. So I did. I should probably clarify that none of the things I actually worked on, like, in that time were actually finished, and most of the assets are gone, so they're basically lost to time. This is the only video that survived and actually made it to the end of production, and I released it. I'm, well, proud is a strong word, I'd say, but I like the video. So, you know, it's up.
Nice.
And apparently other people seem to like it too, which is good. I don't think there's any more explanation warranted.
Yes.
In fact, such a thing doesn't exist.
Man.
I'll put this topic in another video.
Man.
Oh, there we go. Oh, yep, this is the stream. This is that stream. I wonder... Okay. Okay, it doesn't look like Stream likes it when I play Persona 5 Baseball and do this at the exact same time.
This one I'm released.
So I'm just gonna react
enjoy
to
my
my own
garbage
video.
content, and welcome back to my cozy hellhole.
I just thought that was...
Summoning methods.
Oh my god, I already have something to talk about here. Okay, so,
Man.
I use, Sony Vegas to edit my videos. This one was the last video ever to be edited on Sony Vegas 17. I've recently, gone up to, Vegas 21. Actually, shit, I probably...
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just sinned. I called it Sony Vegas.
Okay.
For those who are not in the know, Sony has not owned Vegas Pro for a very long time. So the product is just called Vegas Pro. Anyway, I switched to Vegas Pro 21 recently. I've been loving it so far. I'm going to toy around with a lot of the new features, mess around with that. I'm getting into like stuff like audio editing and color correction, so expect to see some prettier, better sounding videos soon. That'll be good. But oh yes, I went on a tangent. I'm supposed to be talking about this graphic right over here. Summoning methods right over there. So, in Vegas, compositing is a bitch. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same in Premiere, but at least for this, I could not make this inside of Vegas. So I had to open up Photoshop and make two different pictures that were just the summoning and methods text. And then apply like the animation to that in there. But I think it turned out decent. Because I thought the just the text summoning methods by itself would be boring. So I'm like, why don't I just composite the like actual methods into the text?
Okay.
It's what I do a lot. I love messing with compositing modes. It's like my favorite trick. If you see any of my thumbnails, you'll know.
Okay.
Like whether it's Photoshop or like anything, like especially on Photoshop, I love messing with compositing settings. Alright, and I think if I scroll back just a little bit on there, I can...
my cozy hellhole. Summoning methods.
Yeah, see, you can see it kind of faded right there.
Hey.
Essentially all I did was just copy that layer,
Okay.
have it like a little bit above it, and follow the animation that the other one did, and then fade out as it got closer. I think that added a nice little trail effect. It was pretty easy to do. And I don't know, just thought it improved the quality. Okay, continue.
In Persona, they are a staple into the explanation as to why these stupid high schoolers are able to summon their powers.
Not much to say there. I mean, other than the fact that I like to do like a little bit more like animation when it comes to these things, because I was like, originally I just had the Persona 3, 4, and 5 just kind of slide in to the top, but then I realized that's a bit boring to look at, so I just had them bounce off the top to get to their positions. And then something especially that helps with like just like dry inserts is adding a sound effect. So like for example with the protagonist,
Summoning methods. In Persona, they
Here.
are a staple into the explanation
See how those
as to
spin in?
why these stupid high
and then that right there, the sound effect helped kind of like make the just appearance of that image on screen feel like it had some kind of weight and wasn't just random. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it, but
schoolers
So I
are
think-
able to summon their powers. Well, except for one and the two duology.
see, you can see here my love for just compositing random images into the background. I mean, it probably would have worked, especially for the Persona 2, that may have been a bit better if it was just left uncomposited, but I couldn't help myself in that regards.
But hey, those games don't exist to Alice, so they don't exist.
And then here we have Tatsuya dying. Funny thing is, this image about Tatsuya, if you can read it through the fire, it just says, just found out that people have sex. I thought that like, the first time I saw the image, I lost my mind. I thought that was fucking hilarious. So I was like, okay, I gotta force this into the video somehow.
Okay.
And I think I saw a comment that also seemed to enjoy it a little bit. I hearted it and said, Tatsuya, no! The poor man just died. That fire in the building.
Nice.
He couldn't get it up in time. I think he got 10 minutes in that section of the game. That's like pretty generous for innocence and actually and an eternal punishment too. Spoilers, I guess. Sorry. Whoop-de-doo. There's also something I'd like to show off relating to this image, but I can't access the menu outside of this. Can I just alt escape this? Damn it, I cannot. I am trying to show off my okay. All you guys need to know is that that is my wallpaper. It's stretched out because, you know, that it needs to do that in order to fit, and I find that funny. Because I don't really have a proper wallpaper on my desktop at all times. I just have whatever image I found funny recently. That's it. Anyway, let's move on.
As to me either. Ignoring the abandonment of old IPs, these summoning methods are more than a mere excuse to give teenagers the ability to kill litter.
Okay, here. This was actually an editing mistake, because I had intended to add like some screen zoom to emphasize on the kill literal gods point. However, before rendering, I just completely forgotten to do that. And once it was finished rendering, I watched it and I was like, fuck. I didn't put that in. But I'm not about to render this again to just add some screen zooms. So that's just how it is now. Personally, if I could go into the past, I would tell past self, add those fucking screen zooms right now. Do it. Your life is in danger if you don't.
Yes.
And by life, I mean just like undiagnosed OCD.
Literal gods. But they also serve a narrative purpose as well. So, let us take a deep dive into these, starting with the original, and by far the edgiest of them all. Thank you, 2000s, you weird-ass decade that I have the pleasure to...
Okay. So something I want to talk about here is an original,
Hey.
thing I had for this section where I talk about, like, oh, you know, thank you, 2000s, you weird-ass decade I had the pleasure to never experience, or never consciously experience. So originally, I was going to utilize my 3D model that I had for this part. But the renders I made, they just didn't look well, and they didn't really flow well with the video. So I just decided to scrap that part and just do a gray screen instead. And honestly, I think that worked better. Because at no point was the model introduced properly at all. So it kind of felt awkward to just have the model kind of appear out of nowhere. And it felt... So if I'm going to use it in a video, I want it to feel more than just an image that's on the screen. You know, and that's exactly what it felt like, because the animation was just way too slow. And, like... It was just clunky. So, while it may be a bit more boring, the gray screen just ended up working better for the video at that point.
Never consciously experience. They killed themselves.
Oh yeah. Something I found really funny is, so you might just assume that the, like, the exhale or the inhale was just a part of my recording. No, wrong. You see, originally that wasn't there. I added that in post to kind of excuse the transition between, the
Hey, hey.
intro stuff in Persona 3. Because I was like, huh, how do I get this to work? And I'm like, wait a second, both of these sections are grayed out. So I could have an easy transition where I just kind of pretend that during the recording I like was breathing
Nice.
and then moving on to the next one. So I was like, that's what I'll do. And it worked. I think it's fairly seamless, especially since both clips are grayscaled.
But
They kill themselves. However, I think that may have been better. Who knows?
to be more descriptive.
Oh, I should probably talk about these. Okay, so I'm sure y'all seen that in my other videos I have something similar in where, you know, I'll have like a little animation and it'll like show what music is playing in the background. I like that idea and I wanted to expand upon it. So for this video, I specifically used like each summoning method at each point of the video that I was at as the image icon that the text appears from. But this time I also added a like literally just like a black box with the opacity turned to 50% just to under it. And I really like that change because I think that separates like the text from the background pretty well. Improves readability and it just makes it more clean in my opinion. If anyone is wondering how I did the effect where it appears like out of the weapon, literally all I did is I took I went into the masking and I just just selected the portion that like the gun and anything to the left of it was, or I should say the evoker, and anything to the left of it was taking up on the screen.
Okay.
I masked that out on the text layer and just adjusted it and added a little bit of a blur so it's less noticeable, and it makes the illusion that it's coming out from under the gun or the evoker when it's not. So yeah, that's something I liked.
This title involves the use of a device called an evoker, which is shaped like a gun.
Okay, so originally in this video, I had planned, like some stupid joke, like, oh really, it's shaped like a gun, I couldn't tell. But, I never wrote that into the script, which it would have worked if I written that into the script, and then, like, actually, like, voiced that as a joke. However, I didn't think of that at the time, and I think like making that joke via editing in post would have been too shoehorned in, so I just kind of let it stand, you know, just for the sake of pacing.
In various ways, the main cast will turn on themselves and pull the trigger, but instead of the sweet release of death, they summon their persona. How disappointing.
That's still my favorite joke I've made so far. It's a bit edgy, yeah. However, I guess I can't really defend it. I mean, it's a bit edgy, but I just saw that as a bit of, like, tension relief right there before we start talking about the more serious stuff.
Alright, so before I waffle any further,
That's something I like to use, by the way.
Nice.
Before I waffle. I don't know why I like that word so much, but that might appear in more scripts. You have been warned.
Okay.
I mean, I think it was like a cute little excuse to like change the transition away from the joke and to the more serious subject matter.
to address the elephant in the room.
Why? Why do anything?
Okay.
That is a good question. But no, okay.
Oh.
So, because of the way
Yes.
that I have said before that Vegas doesn't like interacting with compositing modes, this was really annoying to make.
Hey.
So basically, I just had to take like this entire section with the Y, and put it into a new project so I could do a compositing mode exclusively with those two clips, and then render that and then put it into the main project so I could finally have that in there.
Yes.
It was a bit of a workaround, but it worked.
Oh.
Is this just a remnant of teenage angst and edginess so specifically prevalent of its time? Surprisingly? No. See, life and death is a
Okay, here is the chalkboard segment. This took forever because it was so hard to find like how to make like a proper chalkboard effect in Photoshop,
Yes.
which is pretty much all of these assets were made in Photoshop, and I just animated them by simply like just doing masking and then adding like some blur to it and then like the chalk sound effects. So for some of them it's a lot more noticeable that I did that. Some of them, the ones that go quicker, not really noticeable at all. But I think that's probably like the proudest I've been of an effect in the video, is that chalkboard, because I legitimately put a lot of effort into making that one work, especially with the eraser that comes in the chalkboard eraser. Let me find that real quick.
constant theme in Persona 3, and this summoning plays into it heavily.
Yeah, see right there? Essentially all I did was in Vegas, like, once again, use more masking and just have it, like, once it passes it, it just negates the layer below it.
The evokers are specifically shaped like a gun and pulled on their own user as a
Okay,
representation.
I think I can probably scroll a little bit forward. Nothing really interesting to say about here, just more gameplay. Actually, right over here.
Like the edgy, life doesn't matter, garbage.
Something I wish I had done
Nice.
and is to add like a little bit of a like gag thing or just more visuals on when I say garbage narrativization, because originally I had like an edit in mind where I would have like an actual garbage can and just like, you know, kind of have like something like some representation of the narrative being yeeted into that garbage can for that line. And honestly, I think I should have done that, but oh well, the video's out now. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing, that's what it.
Narrativization turns out to be a direct refutation to it by painting a clear image of the end, and when combined with the rest of the narrative, highlights the beauty of living better than most media I've seen could hope to achieve.
I stand by that, by the way. Very true. Ooh. Okay.
Yourself, because up next is Persona.
I really like that transition where the finger just spins away. But right after this, there comes the whole transition part where I'm self-aware, haha, funny. Originally that was going to be another section where I would use renders of my 3D model.
Oh.
Because initially it was supposed to like pause and then like they would walk in front and then start like, you know, making expressions as the words I say appeared. But I thought that would be a little bit too jarring, especially since, you know, if I'm going to use a 3D model, I'm going to introduce it into the video at the beginning so that it's kind of established that, you know, they exist. So I thought just like, hey, this is like already 3 minutes into the video. I think it'd be weird to like just now introduce that model and then after that to just never use it again. So that's why I ended up just removing that from the segment and keeping it just audio only.
4. Wait a second. No, we are not doing this transition again.
See, that's where the like I think like my model, she would just appear from like the right edge of the screen and just kind of walk in, be like, or just kind of like flail your hands over the camera like, we are not doing this again. Which may have been good if I had actually gone through with, you know, doing the model stuff. However, that was a bit too much work for me to handle at the time. So, not at the moment. Okay.
Sly mainly.
So, due to purely my own idiocy alone, the tarot card spinning in the corner took an egregious amount of effort to actually implement into the video. So instead of a normal person and just looking up a 3D effect in Sony Vegas and then realizing, oh, I can actually, you know, spin 2D images in 3D motion in Vegas, I, for whatever reason,
Hey,
was like, shit, there's no way I can do this in Vegas. So I was like, okay, what do I do? Oh, I know. I'll import the image into Blender over a green screen and then do an animation in Blender of that image spinning around. And then import that into the project, key the green screen out, and put it in the corner. So that was, you know, way more effort than was ever needed for that stupid little thing. I'm still mad at myself because it was like the day after I finished editing the video that I was just watching random Vegas tutorials, and I figured out that yes, indeed, you can rotate images on a 3D plane in Vegas.
nice.
Ah, damn it. Thought I could sneak in that last baseball.
And self-actualization, or, as described in the game, finding the truth. Well, taken literally, this means finding the true identity of the Eva murderer.
Oh, okay. Spoilers for Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden. This is a callback.
Hey.
So the random vibe boon might just seem like Zoomer humor, but it's actually a callback to when I did do the Zoomer humor in the Persona 4 Golden video. You're a real one if you watched all that. Basically, there is a running gag in there where whenever I said the word Adachi, there would be a Vine Boom sound effect that accompanied it as well as a zoom in on Adachi's face. It was like a shitty way of foreshadowing that he was the murderer. So I was like, huh, I'll do a bit of a callback and I'll do the Vine Boom sound effect when I say Ina the murderer. Although, funny thing, I've known this for a while, but I forgot actually for one instance of when I said Adachi to put in a Vine Boom sound effect. One instance in that entire, like, an hour, 20-minute video where I forgot to actually put that effect in. So, that will haunt me forever in my dreams. Because I couldn't keep the gag going. I know, I'm a failure.
As a metaphor that is presented in the game,
I should probably drink this before it gets cold.
Exactly who you are and the challenges that accompany such a journey. So, that brings us back around to the whole someday method thing. What is it, and how does it connect to these themes? Well, before anyone in the main cast...
I should actually, this reminded me. Okay, so I did not play a new, unlike the other footage in the game, I did not make a new playthrough of Persona 4 Golden to get the footage. Because, luckily for me, I so conveniently, just, like, finished a video 2 years ago that was exactly on Persona 4 Golden. And, I recorded every single part of the game, and I uploaded that to YouTube in an unlisted playlist that is just my Persona 4 Golden playthrough. So I was like, why go through another playthrough just to get to these points when I can just download that, my own footage? So I did. However, for like the examples in Persona 3 and 5, I made sure while writing the script, okay, I'm gonna make these examples early in the game. One, you know, to avoid major spoilers. And two, and more importantly, to avoid playing like a 60+ hour game in order to get the footage I need for this one video.
Able to summon a persona, they must face a representation of themselves, the part of themselves that they are unable to accept. Naturally, when confronted about a party yourself you find unsavory, especially in the presence of outsiders, your first reaction is to deny and cower from the part of yourself you hate.
I really put my I did do some, like, what's it called? I love to enunciate things. So you can kind of hear that in a lot of my works. And especially it's going to come into play huge into this next video I'm going to work on. So I'm going to definitely be doing that. And I'm going to be doing a lot of acting. Because there's some exaggerated emotions in my next one.
Justified or not. But after the mandatory RPG boss fight, the characters learn to confront these parts.
I think I've made that joke before, but of course, yeah, you know, a JRPG got a JRPG. You know, no one can just accept their shadow because, well, we need a boss fight. However, to play devil's advocate, I will argue against myself and will say that everyone just, like, anyone just accepting their shadow is pretty unrealistic. Solely for the fact that, one, they're teenagers. They're not exactly the most mature set of people. And two, it is these are like the biggest fears and insecurities that they have. It's not like something, you know, a little bit awkward you did like 5 years ago. It's like something that's presently haunting you. So of course you want to, you know, act like, yeah, this is totally me. You know, especially, like I said, in the presence of other people.
To themselves, and in doing so, obtain their persona. Jungian psychology with the mention of personas.
Oh yeah, I slipped in a, you know, cheeky little joke right here. Yosuke being homosexual. I think to any Persona 4 fans, I don't really need to explain that one, but you know, the cutouts dialogue. If you don't understand, you can look that up. It's very erotic, very homosexual, very hot, sweaty gay sex. But yeah. I thought it was a decent graphic that I made. I just whipped it up in Photoshop in like 10 minutes. So I was like, shit, do I just use gray for the center? And I was like, nah, that'd be boring. And I was like, oh my god, I know exactly what to do. And I put the gay pride flag.
Shadows being one and the same aside, each character must go through a process of self-actualization to even become a person.
Also, I didn't want to use kanji because that's already the footage that's playing in the background. I wanted to use a different character. And I was like, huh, what can I make a cheeky joke about? And I'm like, oh, Yosuke, the most homophobic gay person to ever exist.
Persona user to begin with. With that said, we can...
I like that transition. I mean, I think I did a fairly decent job with my transitions. I think I should have added sound to them, at least, with like a little bit of a whoosh sound effect or whatever, but that's not a big deal breaker for me. I don't think anyone really noticed. But yeah. I also kind of like... So, my thought process when editing that transition was, I'm gonna put up that text to kind of obscure the slower than usual transition. Because I think without the text, it would be too noticeable. So I was like, while they're reading the text, it's gonna be kind of slower than usual transition. Because like, usually transitions I like to do are 32 frames in total. 16 frames on the like first footage and then 16 frames on the other. Where, you know, you can just kind of see it for like a fraction of a second, kind of zooming by. But this one was definitely a bit slower. It was like at least like half a second for each side. So I was like, I better obscure that with text.
Finally talk about the summoning method, which is the destruction of a tarot card specific to each character.
So initially I was going to put up a graphic, but I got lazy. So I was like, huh, you know, I have some gameplay footage of just, you know, playing the game. So wouldn't it be cool if I just have, you know, just someone destroying their tarot card and I just zoom in on that instead? So, yeah, that kids is how you just take the easy way out. these kind of things.
Now, tarot cards have been a staple of the series, being used from the beginning, and they always represent a sense.
That's also where I was gonna put like another graphic showing like, oh, here's some Persona 1 footage or Persona 2 footage with the tarot cards in them. But I really especially don't want to play Persona 1. Persona 2 I'd probably play, but I was just, I was going to add it in, but then I was like, I'm crunching on time. I want to get this out in September. I want this out
Nice.
by the end of September. So I was like, that's my goal. And I did get it out, so I'm happy. Even if I had to like cut some initially planned, like more details. And I guess another thing that did contribute into not adding a bunch of stuff was I was like, okay, am I making my video too Zoomer-esque where something has to be on the screen distracting you at all times? Because I was just thinking like I was watching some other YouTube videos and I was like,
Nice.
wait a second. These people don't have just images showing what they're saying all the time. I don't have to worry about that too much. I was starting getting insecure. I was like, okay, well, I need to show an example of what I say every single time. And I'm like, no. It's nice to do that.
Nice.
However, you don't have to do that all the time. And if you do it too much, it can get pretty annoying.
Of fate and destiny, much like their meeting in real life. So, with that in mind, it seems pretty clear that in order to summon their persona, they obtain by accepting themselves, they not only reject the predestined fate represented by the tarot card, they destroy
Okay,
it.
no baseball. I thought I could get away with it.
Thus, themselves to find their using Mr. Fruit as an example, he comes to accept
No! I skipped the hardest line of the video. Or one of the hardest lines.
own truth in life. Using Mr. Fruit
Anyway, I thought that line was like super hard.
Basket as an example, he comes to accept his more feminine side and his sexuality facing his shadow. So, for him, destroying his tarot card meant defying the fate of cultural expectations of what men are supposed to be.
I made sure to add those specifically as text in quotes to make sure it didn't get confused, because I was like, okay, my intonation and my voice, it wasn't really extremely clear that I was being, like, I wasn't saying that seriously, and that was supposed to be in quotation marks, so I made sure to put it up on the screen just to remove any doubt. Because, like, these are the things that, you know, it's obviously fighting against in thematics, rather than what it's for. So I was like, okay, I just gotta make that clear.
Especially for a 2008 Japan.
Okay, so initially I was also gonna have another graphic over here. Something along the lines of just showing, like, you know, how awful sort of like the stuff can be, especially regarding like LGBT rights and stuff like that, even in Japan today, because they are definitely a very far more conservative nation when it comes to that kind of social policies and stuff like that. And especially for being 2008, yeah, it wasn't exactly like, you know, normal or accepted.
Nice.
I mean, even here in the United States, gay marriage wasn't like legalized until, I mean, federally legalized until 2015. That is very recent in history. So even then, not even in the US was that even secure. So it shows, like, and especially with like the major difference in the culture between the States and Japan, it shows just how much like Atlas was ahead of their time when it comes to stuff like this.
Okay.
This is also some stuff I might get into like beef with on other people who like play Persona. I've always seen Atlas as very progressive. I don't understand how people can just completely miss a lot of the stuff. It's like, oh, especially the recent freak out over the gay pride pin
Oh.
in the Persona 3 Reload trailer, which I found really fucking funny
Yes.
because, you know, they've pretty much always like had progressive
Okay.
themes in the Persona series. Like the earliest date or instance, I think there was, of course, like, you know, Tatsuya's bisexuality in Persona 2, the themes that relate to, you know,
Oh.
homosexuality in particular with Kanji, and then of course the scrapped, what's it called?
Okay.
Shit, why am I blanking? Scrapped Yosuke romance idea,
Nice.
which even though it was scrapped, I don't think it's completely invalid, because it kind of shows that they were at some point willing to do that. And
Nice.
I guess to get into a bit of a speculative territory, personally I think it's because, you know, the whole society wasn't ready thing for why they didn't do that.
Oh.
Because again, 2008, Japan. Let's think here for a second. That might be a little too much for
Yes.
that time. Not as in like it would have
Nice.
been better, like that they made the right call there. I still think they should have kept it.
Okay.
However, you know, it was a different time.
Nice.
Revolutionary in the context of cultural norms that surrounded it at its time. Of course, only beat by the revolutionary.
This was such a pain in the ass to create. This was genuinely annoying to make, mainly because of Ryuji in this image. So basically, like, I was just looking at this line and I was like, huh, revolutionary. I wonder what kind of graphic I can put over that. And my first thought was like, revolutionary, huh? And I thought, what about like the Soviet-style propaganda posters? And I was like,
Hey, hey.
you know what? That might work. So I was like, okay, I'll do a bit of a spoof off of those with the Persona 5 characters instead of like, in this particular one, it's based off of an image of Lenin and just some random Soviet guy.
Yes.
So, you know, I was like, okay, I'm gonna make that. Of course, in the original one, it's not a calling card, it's a torch.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest major change besides the text at the bottom that I made to the design. I tried to keep it as close as possible, especially with the color scheme. It took like 1,000 different iterations of trying to get those colors to work, but finally I found something I was happy with the kind of like, you know, I was trying to do the red shadows, but I did it wrong almost every single time. But actually keying out the mask Skull has, or Ryuji has, it actually made it look a lot better and a lot cleaner, so I like that, and I decided to, was like, okay, this is it, this is the one I want to keep. The background was also a pain to choose. I was like, I want to do the star background, but I also don't want to do it, but I eventually just settled on doing that because it was the easiest thing I could do.
Man.
But yeah,
Nice.
I think it's a bit awkward how I edited it and placed it right there, but
Nice.
you know, in order to do that, I just like went over here and then kind of zoomed out, just kind of make it a little bit smoother and fit a little bit better within the context of the video. I think in total, just photoshopping that one picture was like at least 5 to 10 hours.
Oh.
Because I just went through like dozens of iterations trying to get that kind of right. You can kind of notice that in this video, I've been, a lot of things went through Photoshop before ever touching Vegas.
And the latest mainline game in the series, Persona 5.
I love this transition. I mean, I think it sticks most closely to the principle of a good transition is one that is not noticeable.
Okay.
Because It's really simple. It's not like some complicated thing. All I just did was mask the thing behind the Persona 5 logo. And the introduction of the audio, like halfway through, I think it works.
Nice.
It's barely noticeable. And I think it's just really smooth. It connects the two pieces of video seamlessly. Like, I watched it over one time and I was like, oh shit, we're on Persona 5 segment now. I didn't notice. So I think that's successful.
Persona 5 is bold, both in visual design and in the thematic tie-in weaved throughout it. Similar to the last entry in the series, P5 uses personas to represent pieces of oneself they hide away. However, the focus is shifted less on the individual.
Here's one where I think I most regret not putting a visual in.
Oh.
Because I think I needed to emphasize more about the whole shifting dynamics between the individual and society that is presented in Persona 5.
Okay.
Because
Oh.
while Persona 4 was more about like individual characteristics and overcoming individual problems, Persona 5 really hit home with the, you know, the revolutionary themes of,
Okay.
you know, societal change. Not just, you know, that individuals changing is great, but they kind of realize that isn't enough. And that, like, especially for the last boss of the game, which I will avoid describing in detail, they just kind of realize that like
Okay.
just individual changes didn't suffice, what would not suffice, that society as a whole needed to change. And I think that's pretty radical
Yes.
in both senses of the word.
This time, and more on broader society. In the context of P5's world, your persona is akin to your revolutionary spirit.
Damn, I wrote
Hey,
I
hey.
spoke that like I was reading the audiobook of like fucking Nah, I'm not gonna continue with that.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's fairly obvious by the way I was reading the script
hey.
for Persona 5 and just how like it's a bit longer than the others, that this is the point of the video that I enjoyed writing the most.
Yes.
For a little bit I almost got carried away and I was like, hold on a second, I gotta stop typing before this becomes too long and like disproportionately like obviously longer than the other bits, or else this is gonna get like this is gonna become a problem. And I was also worried about being off track.
Okay.
So for a couple of these, like I like really inspected like these in both like when I was writing and in post. I was like, okay, this is an example, this connects to what I said previously by this method.
Okay.
And I was like, okay. Like, I was panicking, like, shit, did I go way too off topic? And I'm like, okay, no, this relates to the summoning method because it's showing, like, what it means, and then this is an example of that. So therefore, it's still wrapping back around to that summoning method to begin with.
Beginning in our characters suppressed and buried deep within them in the confines of the overbearing culture of conformity present in Japanese society. For more information on the cultural side of this, you should check out these videos on screen right now.
Okay, so when I was writing the script, I remembered some videos in particular.
Nice.
However, I know it was from Lady Virgilla, the one I was keeping in mind particularly. However, I didn't remember the exact one, and I could not find it. Or it may have been by someone else. But I remember this Lady Virgilla's video was the closest one I could find in regards to the one I remembered. So that's the second one I put there. So I think that one's a little bit less relevant. And then the first one was a very interesting video that I found recently at that point by an actual like person who has lived in Japan, and actually who lives in Japan, talking about the society. And that kind of fits within the themes of a more collectivist culture. But yeah,
Nice.
I think both videos are a good watch. I guess the second one, typically if you're more interested in Persona, which, you know, I think it's a good video. However, I preferred to try and find like ones that are people who like, you know, actually live in Japan, as I was like, I didn't want to come off across by like someone like explaining some other person's culture. I had no idea what I was talking about. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna find someone who actually lives there to like further explain on that method.
Okay.
They'll be linked in the description. Tying into this, a requirement for unlocking one's persona in this game is to directly...
I probably shouldn't have used the word unlocking. I feel like that was a bit awkward in the terms of like, you know, probably awakening would probably have been better.
challenge authority and rise up for what's right instead of what's safe or even societally convenient. Once the game characters have done this, their persona will come out to them, often commenting on how long they've been suppressed. Then they will fiercely rip the mask off their face, which might be a slight nod to how difficult it is to overcome the polite society expectation and to fight for change. Because when you're doing that, you may as well be ripping the skin off your face to an ever-static status quo.
Okay, never mind. That's the hardest line in the video.
Man.
Got out my poet side for that one. But yeah, I mean, I think Persona's 5 themes probably like hitting close to my personal beliefs. So it, you know, it just made that really easy to write and like really some good like emotional parts for that.
After they awaken their personas, their first act is always to combat their oppressor.
Okay,
Okay.
so this audio clip, along with the slight correction I made in post.
Nice.
Basically, I probably shouldn't have used the word combat. I probably should have said stand up to their oppressor, because in every summoning, or in every
Yes.
summoning, or not summoning, awakening,
Okay.
they do stand up to their oppressor. Like, for example, you know, Ryuji, the main character in Ryuji standing up to Kamoshida, as well as On defying Kamoshida, Yusuke defying Madarame, Makoto defying like the Kaneshiro, sorry, there, and so on and so forth. The only exception I can think to this is Futaba, who actually isn't really an exception, because the she unlocks her persona by standing up directly against a representation of the people who have kept her bogged down and oppressed her definitionally, who have like especially like ruined their life, which I think is Futaba's is probably like the most tragic one of all of them in my opinion. However, like even then it's still pretty clearly like a representation of their like actual like oppressors, so just like all the other ones where they stand up to the shadows. Nice home run.
Nice.
Further hammering in the revolutionary themes of the game. Throughout the game, the Phantom Thieves, which for all intents and purposes is a vigilante group.
Ooh, there's one. I mean, so like especially in like Royal, this is a big question that's brought up. It's like, you know, the Phantom Thieves have to think about this. Like, why? Like, you know, they're a group that basically has no.
Yes.
That I guess they're acting outside of the law to bring justice, which is definitionally vigilantism.
Oh.
However, I don't know if it got lost in the sauce, but I didn't exactly mean this in an exactly negative light. personally, I think vigilante as a term is strictly neutral. It can be
Okay.
like good people, like you can do good things with vigilantism and you can do bad things with
Hey, hey.
vigilantism.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's what I was saying here. However, I was just using this to hammer in the point that they are acting outside of the law, and that like they're doing good things, which kind of strengthens the ties against like broader society, because for most of these people, their atrocities aren't, they're like, they're an open secret. Especially Kamoshida's, which was the very first villain of the game. It's an open secret. And the society is too...
Yes.
It's too broken to ever address them. So it was... That's pretty much why I mentioned that they're a vigilante group. I thought that might get a bit lost in translation, so I just mentioned it here.
Fight and bring forth justice where society turns a blind eye.
Okay.
Which doesn't solely bring challenge to those who they bring down, but also the society as a whole, and exposes it for its commission of frankly some pretty disgusting and reprehensible characters.
I mean, I don't think I have anything to add on to that. Like it hits you in the face pretty obviously with the very first antagonist of the game, which is Kamoshida, which is just the epitome of what I just said.
It is absolutely an intentional writing decision that all the villains in the game are extremely prominent people in positions of power, and that the future Phantom Thieves become disillusioned to society and the parts of themselves that work to cover up the atrocities committed. A great example of this is Yusuke as a character who is trapped in an abusive parental relationship.
I probably should have cut a little bit of that audio between those two, because I felt like it was a bit of an awkward pause. Nothing too severe or too really noticeable, but I probably should have cut that a little bit shorter in terms of editing.
With Madarame, his master, both due to the subtle coercion of being dependent on Madarame for food and shelter, as well as society's perception of Madarame as a great, humble artist that would make it impossible to come out with a...
Alright, and then here's I'm just explaining the more revolutionary aspects and how you're fighting against society, blah 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 blah. Then there's just this. Oh my god, you have no idea how much of a pain in the ass it was to make this text appear at the bottom and to do this animation. Because for whatever reason, the Vegas thing just did not want to like loop that properly. So I spent a good like 2 hours just getting that to work.
Oh.
But I did. So I'm glad. And of course there's not going to be the YouTube pop-ups because this is just the file off my computer. And that is about it for that video. I'll talk a little bit more. However, I will probably just open the Vegas file and show y'all that. Oh my god, I almost got 500 hits. Okay, at 500 hits, I'm gonna close Persona 5 Royal, and I'm gonna open up Vegas. I'm gonna show y'all. Actually, real quick. See, I still have both versions on my computer. Okay. Alright.
Okay.
Oh, it looks like Vegas Pro 17 opened. Oh well, either version will work to just show this off. It's probably better I use 17 actually, because then actually I can show you the biggest and most annoying glitch of all time. So yeah, I'm chilling like a villain right over here. All right. Bam.
Yes.
Bam. Oh, I already hit 500. Okay,
Okay.
time to stop.
Here you go. Want to give it a try?
No thank you.
Nice going.
I better have gotten a hella proficiency for that. Damn.
Wanna head back?
Oh, cool. More baseball. Hell yeah. Sorry, tennis. Yes, that was the name of the stream.
Hey!
Don't care. I'm not saving this file because I still have Persona gameplay to record for a future video. Shit. The silver ratio. I'm pretty sure it's 1 to 3.303. Please.
No.
God damn it. God damn it. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. Okay.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay. And now you will see Vegas here loaded up in the background. I'm gonna open up the summoning methods project. And you're about to see something fairly weird besides my long loading times for my editing software. Oh yeah, I deleted them. Ignore. That's true. I forget that I clean my computer after each video. See right here in the preview. Here, I'm gonna move my camera. And the frame. Down over here. So you can see this. Why is the video color inverted? Well, you see, for whatever reason, in this version, like halfway through editing, whenever I rendered the video, the colors would invert weirdly, which normally only happens when I add one of these effects, part of Sapphire plugins, without adding the S_glow fix. Here I have my shaky text with correct color preset that usually fixes the color whenever I add any of these other S_ effects. However, for some reason, it was doing that to the entire project. For whatever reason. So, in order to fix it, I had to invert every single piece of media that I had that was visual throughout the timeline, so that that all looks weird and inverted right over here, but when it renders, it'll look normal for whatever reason. So, you know, you can just see all the weird stuff like blue Persona 4, which I thought was trippy. But yeah, this easily wasted like a couple hours. And over here you can see kind of how disorganized I am and how many bloody tracks I made. So, you know, I'm running this application at a great number of frames per second every time I want to edit the video. Then here's the majority of the stuff. Just kind of chilling down here while I have more complicated effects on top. But yeah, anyway, this has been a nice stream. Hope y'all enjoyed the insight, I guess, onto this video and sort of where I've been, which I covered at the beginning of the stream, if in case you missed it. Hope y'all have a great day, and peace.